All right, so I did something a little unhinged. I decided to try and build a billionaires forever fund. One of those magical financial machines that lets the super rich basically live forever, financially speaking. I honestly thought the journey would take me to, like, Switzerland or some secret island. Nope. It took me to South Dakota. Yeah, let's get weird.
Okay, first up, a pop quiz for you. What do these giant presidential faces carved into a mountain and a shadowy, anonymous Swiss bank account actually have in common? I'll give you a second. And no, this isn't the setup to a really bad dad joke. The real answer is so much crazier.
The answer is they are both located in the world's new #1 tax haven. And I'm not talking about Switzerland. I'm not talking about the Cayman Islands. I am talking about the United States of America, and specifically South Dakota. Now look, this isn't some fringe conspiracy theory. This is the very, very real tip of a massive financial iceberg that's been hiding in plain sight right here in America. So back in 2021, this huge leak of secret documents, you probably heard of it, the Pandora Papers, basically kicked the door down on this whole secret party. Journalists found over $1 billion stashed away in U.S. trusts, and a lot of that money was tied to, well, let's just say, the Global Villains Convention. And it is official. The 2022 Financial Secrecy Index crowned a brand new champion. The U.S. is now #1, first place. We didn't just sneak into the top 5, we took the gold medal. We beat Switzerland. We beat the Cayman Islands. America is, officially, the best place on planet Earth to make your money disappear. So naturally, I thought, okay, if the bad guys are all doing it, can a normal person figure out their secrets? And that's how I gave myself a mission: build my own forever fund. I wanted to find the secret blueprints, the architectural plans that the ultra-rich use to play financial hide-and-seek. And what I found is that there's a cheat code, a legal financial cheat code that allows the super rich to basically make their money immortal. It all comes down to this absurdly named law, the rule against perpetuities. Seriously, it sounds like a spell from Harry Potter. For hundreds of years, this rule was basically the fun police for rich people. It was a kill switch that said, hey, your trust can't last forever. Eventually, the money had to be paid out and, taxed. And then South Dakota came along and just dragged it into the trash bin. Delete. Just look at this before and after. Before, your family trust had a death clock ticking. Eventually, the money had to go to your great-grandkids, and Uncle Sam would show up to take a huge cut with the hilariously named generation-skipping transfer tax. But after South Dakota hit delete, boom, you get a Dynasty Trust. The money grows forever, hopping from generation to generation, and that transfer tax can't even touch it. So is anyone actually using this cheat code? Oh yeah. In South Dakota alone, we're talking about $360 billion sitting in these trusts. That's with a B. That number has more than quadrupled in just 10 years. It's an absolute fire hose of money. Okay, so mission accepted. I know the cheat code. Now I need to actually build the thing. And to do that, you have to assemble a team. It's honestly less like financial planning and more like putting together a crew for a heist. The secret weapon here is something called a directed trust. And it's kind of genius. It's like a perfect crime. You split up all the jobs so that no one person knows the entire plan. That way, if the cops show up, everyone can just point fingers at everyone else. It's brilliant and a little terrifying. So let's meet the crew. First, you need a trustee. This is your getaway driver, and it's usually a trust company in Sioux Falls. Their only job is to hold the assets and follow directions. Next, you've got the investment director. This is your hacker, the brains of the whole operation. They have the sole power to decide what to buy and sell. And finally, my personal favorite, the trust protector. This is the muscle, the enforcer. They can veto deals, they can fire the getaway driver, and, get this, they can even change the entire plan mid-heist. It's a wild structure. Okay, so this sounds like the perfect crime, right? Absolutely foolproof. Except, what happens when your getaway driver, your hacker, and your muscle all start fighting over the loot? Because these perfect financial machines have a funny tendency to spectacularly blow up. Yeah, this is the big weakness. The hacker makes a bad call, the investment tanks, and the getaway driver just shrugs and says, hey, I'm just driving the car. So who's to blame when the whole thing goes up in flames? Let me give you a real-life example of this dumpster fire. In a case called Rollins, the family, the brains of the operation, told their trustee, hey, just hold this one stock, don't you touch it. Well, they held it for 20 years as it completely cratered. It became almost worthless. And what did the family do? Did they blame themselves? No. They sued the trustee, the getaway driver, for not warning them that their own plan was terrible.
And this is where it gets totally nuts. The court's ruling was a masterpiece of legal confusion. They said, yes, the trustee's main job was to follow directions. But they also said the trustee had a duty to warn the beneficiaries that their directions were leading straight to disaster. So, who is actually at fault here?
And this is the secret genius of the whole system. It is designed to create a legal hot potato of blame. Everyone can point fingers at someone else while the money just evaporates. This confusion, this total lack of accountability, it's not a mistake in the code. For a lot of these people, it's the main feature.
Okay, so we've seen how the game works and how it can totally blow up, which brings us to the final and most crucial question. Should we patch this game? Should we close this billion-dollar loophole?
Because let's be real, this isn't just about grandpa trying to save a few bucks on inheritance tax. The Pandora Papers showed us the real client list, corrupt foreign officials, international kleptocrats, you name it. They're all using American laws to give their dirty money a cloak of perpetual secrecy.
The good news is, all of this sunlight has started to disinfect things just a little bit. After the Pandora Papers blew up, a group in Congress from both sides of the aisle actually agreed on something and proposed a potential fix.
It's called the Enablers Act, and you can pretty much think of it as a patch for the game. All it does is require the gatekeepers, so the trust companies, lawyers, and advisors who set these things up, to do the same basic due diligence that banks already have to do. Investigate where their foreign clients' money came from. It's basically asking, hey, where'd you get these billions?
So after this whole mission, after trying to build my very own immortal money machine, this is the big question I'm left with. Do we patch this game? Do we close this billion-dollar loophole and demand to see where the money is coming from? Or is this secrecy the price we have to pay to be the new Switzerland, the undisputed financial king of the world? I'd love to know what you think.